This was his final appearance. Pope Francis greeting packed crowds at St. Peter's Square yesterday, with just enough strength to utter a simple sentence.
Cari fratelli e sorelle.
Dear brothers and sisters, Happy Easter. It was then with relative shock this morning that high-ranking cardinals delivered this message.
Con profondo dolore.
With deep sorrow, I must announce the death of our Holy Father Francis. At 7:35 this morning, the Bishop of Rome, Francis, returned to the house of the Father. His entire life was dedicated to the service of the Lord and his Church.
The Pope's simple final message mirrored his very first in the role. It wasn't a blessing, just good evening.
Buonasera.
That more informal style became a hallmark of his papacy, focused on face-to-face interactions with the very poorest and most marginalised. Pope Francis was born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Buenos Aires in 1936. He became the city's archbishop, renowned for always taking public transport and his closeness with the city's poorest. That rejection of a lavish lifestyle continued once he became pope, the first ever from South America, refusing traditional papal comforts and accommodation, instead being driven around in a Ford Focus.
He had this kind of openness to everybody, whether it's a cleaner or a cardinal, and that kind of enabled him to make all sorts of, space for people. The baby crying in church, he'd say, don't worry, feed the baby.
His first official trip was to Brazil, where he was greeted by more than 3 million. His comparatively liberal stance led to fierce divisions within the church.
Si scrive tanto della lobby gay.
Asked for his position on gay priests, his response was, "Who am I to judge?"
Ma chi sono io per giudicarla?
But he still rejected gay marriage. The 88-year-old spent 5 weeks in hospital after he was admitted with pneumonia in February. A few weeks after being discharged, he met with the King and Queen. Today, King Charles said, "We were greatly moved to have been able to visit him earlier in the month. We send our most heartfelt condolences and profound sympathy to the church he served with such resolve, and to the countless people around the world who, inspired by his life, will be mourning the devastating loss of this faithful follower of Jesus Christ." But many will remember Pope Francis for his solidarity with those suffering.
Pater.
Even yesterday, in his Easter message, he urged once more for peace in the Middle East and Ukraine.